Recording started.
What's up, everybody? My name is BMax Timmy, aka Brandon. I'm alongside Chris. This is episode 9 of the Anime Dojo. Tonight, we have a full plate in our hands because we go to episode 11 of Hell's Paradise and the final episode of the Swordsmith Village arc. The 51-minute long episode to finish off the season. Buckle up because it's going to be a very fun ride. These two episodes have done a lot. As we're talking right now, Get Up Hell's Paradise episode 11. We'll get into that in a minute. But Chris, how are you doing this evening?
Called it. Called it. No, I did not read the manga. No, have I not had some kind of previous screening? I guessed. Just good intuition. I called it.
You did for Hell's Paradise. I will say that Hell's Paradise. This episode, I don't know how to explain this, but they do some. Yeah, they go down some rabbit hole that you would never expect, and it's just kind of like, here we go. We're here for it. So I can't wait to get into this. I can't wait to see us talk about it. We kind of talked about it already earlier this week when we watched it, but we're going to go more in depth with this. And then when we get into Demon Slayer, that's going to be a whole long conversation. So we'll get into that as well. But before we get in this, Chris, one question before we start with Hell's Paradise. Do you think, as people are watching the season, do you think it got too predictable?
Hell's Paradise? No. Although they did leave some nice hints and everything that I think people probably should have caught on. However, I think the only reason that I was able to make the predictions and outcomes that I have is just the outsource of other things besides anime.
Okay, that makes sense. The only reason I asked the question, I think they do a good job leaving breadcrumbs and leaving questions. The first half of the season was a lot of questions, very little answers. This back half has been a lot of answers, very few questions asked, but then those questions led you to other things from the beginning of the season, like, oh, they mentioned this here, or oh, they mentioned this here. So that's why I asked the question, because it seemed like if you really paid attention, you got everything right off the bat. But if you kind of were like unsure of things, you were just kind of like, they're not really giving me the answers. Even though I'm really focused, but you have to be really focused. And like you say, you have to be really into the other than anime things, like other like real world things to kind of get the entertaining for that. So that's a good observation. Actually, something I would not. That's why I asked the question. Something I wouldn't have thought about, but a lot of people probably are thinking this show is a little more deep, has a little more deepness to it. And then the other thing I want to mention before we get in this episode, if you're listening to this gets kind of dark, and Chris can attest. This gets a little bit dark in the sense that they go into some things that I don't think most animes would do, in a while. And it gets kind of deep in the sense of like they go in places that even most people don't like talking about. So if you're kind of not the kind of person that likes that kind of stuff, it's very short, but it is there. Would you agree, Chris?
Yes, basically viewers' discretion advised.
Yes, very much so. With all that said, let's get into Hell's Paradise episode 11. I hope you have it up. I'll give you 3, 2, 1, and then we'll kick this off. You ready, Chris?
Ready, bruh.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Again with this ending, with this opening.
That's gonna be Mappa's I think that's gonna be Mappa's standard opening now for their shows.
Yep.
They'll just put it on front of everything.
Man, I would pay good money to hear a rock band play this song live.
I would too. The only thing is, listening to the full song, like it would be so hard because you have so much other instruments in this song as well outside of just the rock band part.
Still, I was still brave to watch it. I really would.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Oh man, I'm sure the English lyrics are probably pretty gruesome and stuff, but still.
I'm almost trying to search for the English lyrics because I haven't found them yet. Because I was like, there's has to be, but you probably have to put it through Google Translate and see what that.
Hmm. Oh, here, let me just go ahead and write it out for some marching band to play it.
Weakness and Strengths is the episode title, and we leave off where the last episode left off. So we come back right at that point. You can tell right now on that his neck. You can see the vines that are coming up off his neck, which is really kind of giving an indication of what's happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was just disgusting. That's just like he broke your wrist and then he could reach it. Okay, I think that's like people double jointed.
Man, sound effect element was gruesome too.
Yeah, it was. It's just like crack back. It's like okay.
And it had like a little sliminess into it somewhere.
Yeah, it did. I love the fact they show that because it just kind of tell you how much of a badass he is to the point where we're in front of a bunch of bandits that are going to kill him. But he's like, here, I'll take this knife and just cut my own eye out.
It really shows his resolve to protect his family.
Correct.
Ooh, got him.
Do you know something? Every time so the blonde haired guy says something, the other guy says impossible. Wait a minute, how is this impossible knowing the fact what this island is, and you know what the island is?
Exactly. Wonder if that's gonna be a problem in the next episode.
Yeah. That scar is getting worse. And it's not. No, to answer to your question, he's not all right. He's gone kind of mad. I think you should be worried.
I can see why it's increasingly difficult for a swordsman
Why is that, you think?
because they're used to putting all their strength in at the last moment of the swing. So how do you let go of that? And being strong and weak through a sword. It's a whole different.
Pay attention. That's the same scar that blonde dude has from using all that power.
Right.
But hers is a little bit different. There's a different reason for her having that scar.
Not to mention hairline showing now.
Nope, it's not. Actually, it was showing on the top of the chest. You could see like little cut when they first cut to him. There's like a little cut where it's like something happened, and then there's like a little branches off that cut.
Like a little bitty, that little video spot. I saw what you talking about.
Mm-hmm. I love the fact that he didn't see him. He just heard a voice, and then he's just like, "Somebody's behind me," and just puts the sword behind his back. Like, doesn't even think about it.
Whereas the other guy just timed it on purpose.
Yeah. Watching this back, he straight up lies to her.
Mm-hmm.
Because he says, "I'm overjoyed to find you, but also we were not supposed to look for you." Wait, what? But yet, okay.
Maybe he was just saying his look that he happened to be doing his rounds and finding.
and you've seen character develop between Guy and Mario. He thought about that. He was like, should I even get involved? He's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm getting involved.
But even the little short dude admitted that he was more human than he thought he was.
Correct. So he's becoming more. His humanity is coming out.
The look in his eye was crazy.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna kill him, and you just see like the bug eyes with like just open super wide. He's like, I don't care what I have to do. I'm just gonna do it. I'm like, okay, you've gone kind of like, what, thirsty for a second?
Yep.
You want to thank you. I'm sure we don't need it. I love that. I don't think we should thank them.
You're
I
right.
love that. Kevin Mario's like, why?
He was about to say modify. Yeah, you saw it.
I will say this fight's epic. Just kind of how they do it.
Yes. Here we go with this.
He says, what? Like, what? Like, what?
Man, it's still messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. But they don't have. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say something, but I'm like, I don't think I should.
No, go ahead and ask it.
They don't have reproductive parts. Because it's funny, they mentioned this in the first couple episodes after you meet the ninja girl. The ninja girl goes, they don't have dicks. So wait, how do they? In this case, there's kind of a weird thing.
They probably do, but they're not showing it because they want to keep it on TV.
Which is fair.
They never said that because they never said that they don't.
They did it. They did it. I'm about to puke. I love that. So they gave her a thing. You die or you keep your training and you can become super powerful.
Yeah, you continue training and just keep on being a little thing, a little, yeah.
But here's the thing about that. Then he says, "You just you disappeared." She ran.
Yeah.
She didn't want to be there anymore.
Wait a minute though. This dude, he feels like he's dying.
I'm gonna bring something up at the end, and I love this because Garamaro says something very interesting. Mm. The only reason y'all care because y'all want her power. That's it.
Right.
Is it bad second time I'm watching this? I'm getting annoyed.
Nah, I'm already pissed.
I gotta say you are. I'm just voicing it. I'm just voicing it. You're just kind of like you're probably sitting there steaming.
Yeah. You have a nicer way of saying anything that I could say right now. But I will talk about this fight scene.
Oh yeah, this fight scene's beautiful. Like I think it's one of the better fight scenes in the show so far. You know, it's funny when they said weakness of mind and seed of strength. But you know what I thought about something from earlier seasons: a clear mind and a strong heart.
Yep.
That's what they're kind of getting at. You need a clear mind. You need a mind that's focused, and you need a strong heart. And those combined will give you.
But not only that, but it's not only a clear mind, but a relaxed mind.
Relaxed mind, yeah. Relaxed, clear.
I mean, like, you ever notice, like, you can't run too many things on a computer at one time?
Nope, because it gets cluttered up.
Same thing. Yes. Clear your mind and focus on your task. Relax. The cooler your computer, the faster it runs. Oh, you know what? Somebody else has already mastered the tie through the sword.
Who?
Her.
Oh yeah, she has. She mastered it because it's she's mastered. You're right. She mastered it. But even it's
From the
funny.
earlier episode.
Early episode, but he even says, I think the guy with the missing hand says, Gabby Mario's done some crazy training to be a ninjutsu. So that training is pretty much like mastering this. So it's not even like
Pretty much.
it's nothing for him, nothing different. Why did he answer his question?
So he could try to trick him.
But they both knew that.
Hmm?
The two of them knew. Gabby Mario and the other dude knew they were tricking him. So it's like, why?
Just to set them up.
Mm.
Set them up in their own track.
So now we're at the palace. By the way, this scene looks beautiful. I have to say, they did a really good job with it. My word.
Yes.
And the saddest moment of the show. All right then. Okay.
And then the sound effect was like, whoa.
Like you crunching wood. You just crunched wood basically. He just like flipped his fingers, broke off a piece of wood in half. Like no problem. So where do we start?
And I mean,
Go ahead.
Man.
Where do we start with this episode?
Let's just start from the beginning. Start from the absolute beginning. Okay, so
before
dude and his brother, they come right after me. Go ahead.
Before we start, as we're talking about this, get up Demon Slayer the final episode of the season. As we're talking about this, because we're gonna have a lot to talk about with this episode, so you'll have some time. Don't feel rushed at all. Chris, continue.
So let's look at this fight in the beginning. We think that, look, because remember I said it last time, that dude that hadn't even been out to 5 minutes and you look like you're already dying again.
Yeah.
But here we go, beginning of the episode, right back to it. No, you somehow start inheriting the powers from the creatures you've been eating. Called it.
You did call it.
Called it.
I will say this.
But then again,
I think it's kind of crazy that what's his name? The Dashi is like, as they're talking, he's like, how is this possible? How does he have this much power? And I said it as the episode's going on. You're the Dashi. You know this island better than anybody. You should know what these animals can do. Or monsters, as they say.
Right.
So the thing that boggles my mind is like, why do you think he's so powerful? Why is his towel so high? Let's see. The man's nuts. The man's drank some of the blood. He's ate some of the flesh. And we've seen both of those. And he's gotten that power. All the while, he's gotten more vicious. I don't know if you, Chris, the scene that I think I said that looked really creepy is when the Dashi breaks both his wrists in one fell swoop and he just cracks him back. He cracks him back to normal.
Yeah, man, that was the point that we know that he ain't really just human no more.
No. And I love the fact they show that off because it tells you and even though you hear the Dashi say, how did he regenerate his wrist? Well, put 2 and 2 together, my friend. He's gotten more towel.
Man.
Like, but then on continuing this
Man.
scene, you go from that to then the brother runs to his other brother, like he thinks he's dead. The brother's like, "What I tell you to do? Go fight those nobodies. I'm fine." And the brother in the purple hair is like, how the hell are you moving? How the hell are you alive? And then he sees the vines on his neck, which those vines are going to come into play either at the end of this season or the beginning of next season. What do you think those vines represent?
Kind of hard to say, man, because I know they're still trying to close up points from this season. So it's hard to say how I see that's going to come out this year. I don't really have any thoughts on that right now.
Okay. I thought I'd bring the question up because it is kind of a loose plot thread they might leave off for a bit. But then on top of that,
that's what I'm saying. Like, they have different ways to explain what's going on. That's what the crazy part is.
Correct. But then on top of that, you have the older brother say, "I'm glad he's okay, but something's wrong." Like,
but then again, just like that last backstory that they keep giving us is that he's always done outlandish things.
Yeah, they show him.
He's like, yeah, keep going.
They show a backstory. Thank you for bringing it up. They show the backstory of the brother with this other bandit gang or something, and this bandit gang was about to hurt these two kids because they're too classy. He says too classy. I'm putting that in giant quotation marks because the Blurhead brother was like, "I'm too classy." You serious? All right. You're gonna hurt you're gonna hurt the younger brother. The younger brother. The older brother's like, "You know what? Give me that. I'll pick up this knife, cut my own eye out." And they're all like, all the older gentlemen are like, you serious? What? That tell you how much of a like a badass he is, but also how much he don't care. He protecting his brother, but also he'll do anything to protect him.
Yeah. That part. Ain't nothing stopping him.
So then we have this epic fight. What do you think about this fight? Because this fight goes back and forth for a good minute of them just talking, asking questions, fighting back and forth. And then finally he says, "Wait, he's growing more towel. He's getting more vines. Impossible. The Dachi says that every time the blonde-haired dude says something back to him. And finally, the last time he says impossible, they do the Mortal Kombat kind of fatality where he just takes his fist, puts it right through his chest. And then he takes his foot, his damn, and the dude can barely talk.
Barely talk, right.
I loved all of this. And then finally, he ends up killing the thing, and he just stands there smiling. Like the creepy dude he is. What did you think about that?
At that point, I think they were just kind of foreshadowing what's to come. Because everybody knows how this character seems to be right now. Like,
yeah,
he's either going to get more crazy, or maybe we find out he's crazy but still conscious.
But it's funny.
There's really a hard no way to say it.
But it's funny. He's crazy, but he's calculated. That's the weird part. He's smart. He knows what's going on. And that's even more insane because he's like, I don't really know what all this is about, but I have some small hunches. He's learning like the rest of us, but he's learning on the fly and he's figuring out how to make it work for himself. And that real time, that's been amazing the last couple episodes. So
Yep.
then we cut to the Getmaru, Mai or me, that's how you say her name, and the two other samurai dude, and the monitor. So they're fighting off all these different monsters and everything. May is saying strength, no. Tao, weakness, strength. He's trying to explain it to the swordsman, but the swordsman's not getting it. Then we get these two other dashi, a butterfly controlling dashi and a bug controlling dashi, which controls the bugs that look like the centipedes. And then we have another epic fight. I have to give this episode credit because you gave us two epic fights and still gave us a bunch of information, and didn't overlap the other at all. That's hard to do because usually one overlaps the other. And then then they start fighting but then the dashi of the bugs comes over, grabs May off the dude's shoulders, puts her on the ground, starts talking to her. I'm not going to go through the whole thing he talks about here, but he basically just says, "You were lost. We were trying to find you. We couldn't leave the palace. We couldn't. We felt so bad that you disappeared." Basically, what I was talking about while the episode was going on, you lied to her face.
Oh, dude, nasty too.
Yes. So I'm gonna continue. Then Gabby Morrow's having this thought in his head: do I help her? Do I get involved anymore, or do I just stay on my mission? And Gabby Morrow even says, "This." Or not Gabby Morrow. The guy missing hand goes, and the I think samurai dude goes, "He's gotten more human." What do you think about so far? We've only seen 11 episodes, and they've done a good job with this. Gabby Morrow's being more human, caring about people. What do you think about all that?
Well, I think that's his character progression throughout the show. Like in the beginning, they kind of mentioned how he had no remorse, no feeling towards anything, and then find out now he still loves his wife.
Yes.
And then as you keep going through the episode, not only does he still really loves his wife, and then because through his love through his wife, he meets a child who has a lot of characteristics of his wife. So he's like, I know like, wow, I really see the gentleness coming out of him, because remember, she cried at first, and now she's like warmed up to him. Even came out all that way to save him. So that's his character growth, is really realizing that he's actually stronger with his humanity rather than just being his empty shell.
Okay. Yes, I do agree with that, and they do a good job with Gabby Morrow. I have to give him credit. One of the best. I think this is really good how you built that character up so well. So then we hear why she needs to go back to the palace for training, and the guy with the broken hand or the missing hand goes, "What training?" Well, before I kill, I love the dashi. Before I kill you, basically, I'm gonna explain it to you. So there's 5 different things, and I'm not gonna say all. I can't really say all 5 because basically one starts with a D, one starts with an S, another starts with an S, and then one starts with a T. The last one is the one that's really interesting. I think it's called Benjutsu, basically, and you need a partner to do it with for this. And the green hand guy's like, a partner, or a green guy's like, wait, what are you talking about? And the samurai dude go, in simple terms, sexual intercourse. He's like, and the green guy's like, what? So then the dashi explains it's a back and forth thing of yin and yang, and as they more intimate with themselves doing things, it makes them stronger. They get more Tao of it. So here's where the gross thing comes in at. Then he explains that she was part of this group. So Gamar's like, she's not human. He says earlier she's not human. She was part of this group. She was part of the main dude, the head of the family, basically. Sorry, quotation marks there.
Right.
But she didn't want to do it. So the head of the family pretty much beats her up and pretty much gives her ultimatum. You can die like a dog, or you can leave. Or you can stay, basically. So she runs. I'm gonna be very. I'll ask Chris the question in a second. But Gaimar puts it in perspective. He's like, what? The green dude puts it in real perspective. The green dude's like, one, that's disgusting. Two, I'm about to throw up. But Gaimar puts it in perspective. Gaimar's like, why do you treat her like she's like she's an object? And here's my thing with that.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to tell you people aren't property. Like in the olden times, like in early U.S. history. So basically, they were using her to make her get more power. But she didn't want to be part of that. And yet, it feels so disgusting. When they got to this part, Chris, the first time around, what did you think when you first watched it and watching it again now?
So, the first time when I heard all that and I listened to it, I was like, yo, so y'all really out here fornicating. And I was like, okay, so now what does it have to do with her? But I understand that in the scene that they showed, she looked to be older than what we first saw her.
Correct.
So with that being said, like to her being that mix when they were fornicating, it's like okay, but she looks so timid and weak, so I don't think that's the type of vibes that she's giving off. So then it looks like it's rape. It's like hold up. So it's also what terrifies me. So that was the first part that when I saw it the first time, I was like, nah, bro. Somebody take their head off quick. Now watching it again and also hearing you say it's like it can be read as another way too. Like y'all really using her for the benefits that she gives out because she has this type of energy, which is still rape, but it don't make it no nicer.
Yeah.
But I can see the story that they try to put into it. Because I was, so to go along with the story, it's like, man, this reminds me of another series of events that happens where, when you use and abuse people for power and gain, and it just so happened to come out on that very weekend. But, that's another story. Go ahead, I'm done.
I figured you weren't going to go too deep, but I will say this. The point they're trying to get across, because Adachi says yin and yang, it's the old principle in the Bible that is when a father leaves his household to find their wife, or when a son leaves the household to find his wife, the son and the wife become one. That's the point they were trying to get you at. But also, on the flip side of that coin, when the two parties aren't mutually agreed to that, that's what you get with May. She didn't agree to that bond. So then from there, we just have this epic fight. Garamar was like, screw both of y'all. We're going to just kill you now. The guy with the sword is pretty much like, you chopped my hand off. I'm going to finish you. Like, he goes God for a second. And he's literally just like, he literally stares in the middle, just stares out at the thing and goes, I'm going to finish you I'm gonna make you feel pain. I'm like, okay. You kind of got a little mad, but I get why. You lost your hand, so you hate these things. So then we have this fight. And this fight's fun. It's interesting. But then on top of that, we finally learn what Tal is from Gemmaru's side. So the other things that the samurai says you can learn Tal, but it'll take a bit. It'll take a second. It'll take a while for you to learn it. So all Mai does, touches his hand, and he goes, "Oh, it's weakness. It says weakness in strength. So you have to be weak of mind and still strong." Which basically, like you put it, you have to be clear of mind and calm and still have strength. I love that. What do you think about that when they finally explained that fully?
Once it finally explained, just like you said, it was just an age-old thing of spirituality, and we're looking at it as how we view it now. It's like yin and yang, good and bad. It's how you progress through these things and how you realize how they balance these things out. These things balance themselves out. And even when you look at the Chinese symbol of yin and yang, and it's got those dots in the middle, and you have to remember in so much good, there's still evil. Just like in so much evil, there's still good.
Still good. Correct.
So it's like, so when you do yin and yang, it's just a further knowledge of how things balance out and the power that can unfold that's always accomplished when those things do come together for the good.
Mm-hmm. So then we have the fight. Gabimaru figures out what Tal is, and it's funny. The samurai dude's like, he's not gonna be able to. And then Gabimaru does one attack, and the guy's like, "How do you learn Tal that fast?" And I love the girl before he walks off. The Maya's like, he has a lot of Tal. His Tal is big. So Gabimaru has already kind of learned this training from what he's done as a ninja. And then we just have this interesting thing. And finally, the guy's like, I don't know if this was intentional. The bug dude with the centipede bugs was like, he's ninjutsu. What? How? And he felt, I'm guessing he felt like, wait, he understands this. But ninjutsu can't understand. He kind of was like saying ninjutsu can't understand it, it seemed like. But did you get that same feeling?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. It was like, well, the fact that he learned it so quick, firstly. But then it's almost like when you compare him to the character in the beginning, that's where you realize, like, okay, one dude is literally eating his way to power. One dude is gaining an understanding of power. So it's like, this is the part that kind of makes me really confused in the show, and what makes you uncertain on how it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make any sense?
It does. It does.
Okay.
So then the dashi that has all the centipede bugs is about to die. So Gabimaru asks a question. He's like, so where are the rest of 10 cents? And he says they're at this palace, this massive palace, which this door we've already seen. This door where they cut to the rest of the team at this door. We've seen this door, the red door with all the vines and everything. Gabimaru fought in front of this door. He did not know that was the palace. Because he was just open the door and walk in. But then the dashi had a trick. Right. He puts his hand together like in a triangle formation behind his back, and calls all his bugs above the green cloaked swordsman. But then the bird guy is about to throw butterfly guy is about throwing a bunch of butterflies. Gabimaru in one fell swoop jumps up, knocks out most of the centipede bugs, then burns the flyer dude on the recoil. Fire dude burns. Green
Wow, the swordsman guy.
just chops the dude in
Yes.
half.
Don't
Just
forget
like
the
literally.
swordsman. Woo!
It was like, wow, okay. That was pretty cool. so
That was awesome.
so then we get back to the team. They open the door. You see Siri look down the way. You see one of the Tenzin, and the Tenzin just moves his fingers. The tree guy's head just pops off, like chopping a piece of wood. No problem. And then they're all shocked, and that's where the episode ends. So my first question: are we about to have a fight with the rest of the team that's left at the palace gates against that Tencent because they destroyed the tree thing, or are we going to try? Are they going to try to talk their way out of it?
Okay, man, that's a loaded question, and you did that on purpose.
I do apologize.
Man, so at this point, it's like I feel like they might have to defend themselves, and we might see that Ninja Girl in action because she, it's the one person we ain't seen that's strong that we know is strong, but hasn't shown how strong they are.
So you think we get a
that's the first thing.
We'll get the full-on fight thing with the Ninja Girl actually showing off her power?
Yep.
Okay.
Why everybody else? Because remember, Gabamaru is not too far, because that's where he was a few episodes ago.
Correct.
So I think that they could make it there possibly fairly quickly. And as far as the dude and his brother, that's what I don't know. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now, because there's still another episode in the season.
Okay. I agree with that. I think we will get a fight. I think we do get something where we see the Ninja Girl show off her power. So then, my last question, as I asked this last question, I hope you have Demon Slayer the final episode up for the Swordsmith Village. What would you give this episode, Chris, for a rating for Hell's Paradise?
Give it an 8.8.
Ooh, explain.
Well, even though you still reeling in a whole bunch, you still have answered a lot of questions, but you've kept some secrets to yourself, and it's like, man,
yes,
you know how to hold these big secrets.
Yes, they do.
And so, and I mean, we've gotten a few episodes of a lot of information, and y'all tried to keep the action up too. But I think it's kind of straining a little bit to be in the middle of between story and action for 3 or 4 episodes straight.
Mm-hmm.
Especially compared to when the first episodes was all mystery.
Yes.
It's like I'm not saying slow it down, but I'm just saying be careful how you, in my opinion, be careful how you give your story. That's my only deal. Because that one scene was just almost a little too much.
This was part of the Dark Trilogy with Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man. If they do a season 2, we're gonna get darker. We are gonna get darker, and I can see that we're gonna get very dark very quickly. So my rating, I have to give this about the same, 8.7, 8.8. I agree with everything you said. I think the thing is, if you're going to go any darker than what you did on this episode, you have to give people a small warning, because I think that can be a little much for people. And we've seen it already with a couple animes this year. KO, No KO, with the one we watched, Genlock did it, where they gave you the warning, hey, this gets kind of weird, kind of dark. Viewer's question device. This wasn't too dark because it does deal with yin and yang. It deals with yin and yang, but it also deals with being one with your partner. So I get the kind of thing they're going for, but also deals with something really dark of just like abuse too, which is kind of also bad. But I'm looking forward to.
But I am happy that they are showing it and let it be known and aware.
Yes. I am looking forward to seeing what they do with this next episode. So, full kudos to Mappa. Full kudos for what they've been doing. I can't say enough about it. That was just the main course, ladies and gentlemen. Now get ready for the dessert, which is an ice cream sundae with a bunch of fudge. Because my word, we're about to.
Oh yes, hold up. I got my drink ready for this one. I got the drink ready.
All right. Yeah. We're about to get into the final episode of the Swordsmith Arc. We knew about this a couple weeks ago. I've watched this once already. Chris watched it once already. Get ready for a ride, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to be fun. Whenever Chris is ready, I'm going to give 3, 2, 1, and then we'll just go. After the episode, I have a couple of questions for Chris, and as we're watching, you can think about them as we go along. What do you give this episode? What do you rate this whole season as a whole? And I'll leave my last question for the very end. So think of those 2 questions while we do this, Chris. Are you ready?
Man, let me take a sip.
Okay.
My sip became a drink. Let's hit it.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Man, that thing is elusive.
I have a new respect for him though after watching this episode.
Yeah.
Hope everybody noticed they're a fan for her.
By the way, do you know something they did here? They did like the first episode of the show. We didn't get an intro card. They just jumped right into the show.
Right.
And we don't actually get to tell the episode till like halfway through.
Nope. Like they did it like a true movie.
Yes. That's disgusting seeing that again. Ugh.
Man.
Man literally took a tree and threw it like a javelin.
Man.
And didn't even
hit him too.
Yeah, nearly hit him. Like
Man, that was a whole recap.
Yes, it was. A connection of bonds,
Final
daybreak,
episode.
and light.
Yes.
How's Nesco still in the air, by the way?
Very good hype.
Do you know Nezuko is controlling her power better? She's more powered up, but she's not going nuts.
She does everything her brother tells him to do.
Yeah.
Either way you called it, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
You called this, buddy.
I love that we see Zenitsu in like in a flashback, and he talks about this.
But it was actually never in any other episode.
Nope. So this is like a conversation they've had before, sometime late, a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So basically just buffed up one leg. Basically does like Thunderclap Flash with no sword. It's like, okay.
What is graphics, boy?
This kind of creeps me out. I'm like, how do you go so big?
Yeah. Because on his forehead.
Yeah. Yeah, Gina, you might be a demon. You might be demon flash, but you can't pull that grip.
Nah, but he's still trying. Now he lifts his fingers. That's something. This part though.
I would have ran if I was Genya. I wouldn't have stayed.
Nah. But
So wait, he wasn't burning up?
real good.
The demon was like, I'm going to sacrifice myself. I'm going to literally just fall off this cliff.
Ooh, we got the fear of God put in us.
Mm-hmm. Why are they going to stop for you?
Well, I learned how to sprint that day. Well, I learned how to sprint that day. Ooh.
I love that.
Delivery.
I love that sound when he throws you. You just hear the like the little spinning like wind, and it hits the thing like with a clang. It's like, oh, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love Hanakazuka's like, I'm gonna kill you for throwing that.
Wait a minute, because I've only honed it to the first stage. You gotta remember that.
Which is not all. I mean, there's about 5 stages left.
You said there's 5 stages left?
I know. I'm just guessing. There's probably 4 or 5 stages to hone it to make it sharp enough.
Let me find out you already know, Brandon.
I've never used a sword, so I don't know how long it takes to sharpen it.
Boy.
The lighting on this.
Ooh. Might have to go back and watch this on Drew's TV. Ooh.
I love the fact that he after he kills Demon, he's like, the sun's up. I need to run back to my sister now.
Well, yes, as soon as he starts seeing the sun upon the horizon.
No, she looks. I love this. Like she's not looking out at the sun. She's looking at the demon,
I'll show you something.
who's not dead.
Well, that color is amazing.
Yeah, it is. Man, this is sad. I was like, you like she's gonna die, but it also is like,
I was losing, bro. I was having a panic attack with Tangerine, bro. I was having a whole panic attack with him.
but it's like, what do you do?
Really bro.
Do I save the people or do I save her? And if
I mean, to me, I would say my sister, but man, you can't man. I would have a whole panic attack trying to think of anything and everything.
he's basically hyperventilating, this is amazing. This is like, oh my.
Yeah. Yeah. He's having a panic attack. Yeah.
I love the music here. It's like epic. There's no words, no speaking. It's just kind of like facial expression.
It's when you let the music do everything.
And this is the part I love so much.
Does she always clutch?
Bro, she's like, I'm gonna kick you. You're going to save them. Don't worry about me.
He's like, nah, you do what you got to do.
I love that.
Bro, then I had to do this.
And I love the detail. Her one eye is still open, so she can still see everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that means she's
got
still
this
alive.
tiny hand, just
yes. Close the fist. I love that. He's like, really?
Here comes the music. This whole scene makes you feel like she gone.
Yeah, they do the flashback to her life. I'm like, oh, come on now, please don't. Please don't.
Bro, I was like, when I saw this, I was like, bro, no, that was my girl. That's my favorite character. I
But
can't be one of the people where their favorite character has died. I
some of
can't.
these scenes
I
are
never wanted to be that person.
some of the scenes are new, right? Because like the one in the entertainment district is not from the show, is it? Like there's a couple of like
Yes,
scenes
some of those things are
like brand new.
just for show.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
but that's new. That's new.
Which I like. I like how they do that. They're adding nuance to older stuff we've seen, just to kind of show you that they've been through a lot.
Yeah. Some of these like that one they took directly from the movie.
Yes, Mugen Train. Some of them from Entertainment District. Some are from just early, like the first season.
Exactly.
Man, and he put a good song to this too. My word. You put like the most
It's
cute
so
song.
Sodom, like man, no. And they show her as human too. Oh.
Now both her eyes are closed.
Yeah, when you hear it. Yeah, bro. When
and,
it came in with the piano, I was like, dang.
And Tundra's like, I'm still flying in the air. I can't really do anything now. He starts crying. This is all just sad. But he's like, you know what?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I did shit a man too. I did.
Oh no, this is good. This is well done. This is not nothing to like.
I pulled one out for the homie. I definitely pulled one out for the homie.
And then he just starts running. He's like, I have to run to this demon. I don't care.
He's like, nah, bro. My sister done sacrificed herself, so I can get you. Oh, it ain't no doubt.
He's
Here's the
using the
time.
smell. Yeah, his
Here's
smell
the time.
vision.
No, you just like in Hill Paradise. Here's the time.
Right in between the chest. Or in the heart, in this case, but right down the middle.
Into the whole body, like, whoa!
Oh, the light on this. I love they did the flash before your eyes for Nezuko, then they do it for him, and it's just like everything he's done wrong since he's been alive.
Right.
So basically, he's an old man when he's human. I think what they kind of mentioned.
Mm-hmm. You can lie right in front of him.
Wait, is that?
Yep. Yep.
When they is that Docky's brother?
No. It's Loser.
Okay. That's what I thought that was when I first showed him. Like, that can't be. He's not a demon yet by this point. That must be Muzan then at that point.
That was Loser who made him the offer. But that was
Oh,
one
okay.
of his
My word.
Ooh, that color, bro.
Jeez. Bye-bye.
Ooh. Low key. That's why I say this show was giving me Dragon Ball Z vibes.
Yes.
Just the part where his eyes went straight white and they did that up close cut like that.
And he's just
The only
screaming.
other show I've ever seen do that is Dragon Ball. Now you can think about it just as I don't know. Watching this again, I should have noticed the music.
It's the same song, just played again. But he's just crying. And I love the thing they do here. It's from her point of view. She's walking towards him, and we're just seeing it. They're just staring at her. The camera works amazing.
Man. I can't wait to watch this in English.
Yes, Sam. His eyes widening like, she's alive. How? I love the fact we get the one singer, then we have a choir behind that. That.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now, see, as a Christian and a believer of who I know is Jesus Christ, boy, I'd be bowing down praying.
Yes. And her first words are morning. It's like, wait, what?
It's like,
Okay, cool.
I mean, that's probably the one thing that she hadn't said in a long time that she's been wanting to.
Correct.
Glad they kept it realistic and got the dirty kimono. Like, come on.
Yes.
Man, how is it going to be clean?
No, so it's all bloodied, it's torn up, it's burnt. Yeah. They've shown the actual, like, damage. So this part I was worried. Is she repeating what Chandra says, or she can think for herself?
She can think for herself. She just got to think about how, think about actually communicating.
Okay. Because it took her a second to say morning, but it's like, oh, she's trying to say morning.
You're right. Now she starts repeating what she hears him say. So she has an understanding of what the words mean.
Yes. I love getting again. It was like, what? But
Yeah.
also smile.
He
But also
had the most
smiles.
realistic expression.
Yeah, he's like, what? But also smiles. I love that.
Man.
I love Nesco say things like, are you okay? he's not he's not dead. Oh, I love that.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say. I forgot to say one thing.
What?
Called it.
Yeah,
Called it.
yeah. So we cut back a few minutes earlier.
I'm glad they didn't leave her out first.
No, they
She
didn't.
had her time for shine.
They did it. They killed the main body. Now this scene kind of just creeped me out because he goes, ugh.
Man.
And just goes. I'm like, oh wow. I love the maid. The maid's like, madam.
The fact that she saw that, she started freaking out.
Yeah.
You know, if he also blended his clothes together this time.
Yes. They appeared as he got bigger.
Mm-hmm.
He walks over, grabs a knife, and goes, I'm gonna just kill you now. What compelled you?
Disbelief.
So he willingly became a demon.
Man.
Gee, he just I love the fact he tried to find everybody possible to help him, but then he's like, "No one can help me because I killed the doctor that knew about it." Well, that was your own fault.
Mm. Exactly.
You shouldn't have killed the doctor.
One of those villains to really hate.
Mm-hmm. He's like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, and Hanakazuka is about to go Super Saiyan. After all this, there's a lighthearted scene where he's just chasing him.
Yeah,
And
they
she comes
had
out
to
of
bring it
nowhere.
back somehow.
Yeah, they did.
Now she had the appropriate reaction to Nezuko.
She's like, huh? Her reaction's like, what? She
Yeah.
talks? Man, this is just cute.
They could have easily caught this episode, thank goodness, too.
Yeah, they could have. Oh wow. We've seen this cat before. We didn't know what they did. Oh, they take letters from place to place.
Yeah, every time and Pandora defeated the upper rank, he took some of their blood for a sample.
Mm-hmm. The doctor called it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically said it's pure speculation, but she can walk. She'll be able to walk in the sun.
Yep.
Wait, is his first name Hantaru and his last name's Hanakazuka?
Yes.
Okay. That's why Tanjiro calls him Hanakazuka based on that. All right. I love Kotetsu. He's like, aren't you embarrassed? Pretty funny, huh? And then he goes, Haruzuka's like, you know what? All right. He just
You
grabs
want to
kids.
go there? I can't stand these masks they got on.
I was like, they really gonna make him plug his nose? And I'm like, wait, there's probably a reason. They're just.
Bro, that wheel is chromed out. This is beautiful.
This was so awesome. Just seeing everybody like thank Tanjiro. That was so cool.
Yeah. I like all the detail they put into that wheel piece. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep. And that's the Demon Slayer, the Swordsmith Village arc.
Yeah, you know how long we waited for this?
Months. Literally months.
Yes.
So I don't think we need to do a play-by-play because we'll be here all day if we do that. I'll do it this way.
Nah.
Give me your top 3 moments from this episode.
The defeat of the upper fourth,
Mm-hmm.
the return of Nezuko,
Mm-hmm.
and Lord Muzin's backstory. Top 3.
Okay. I would have to agree with you on Muzan. Yeah, so I have to agree with you on Muzan, Nezuko, and then the other one for me, I would have set up rank 4. I have to give to Miss Hashira. I think his arc throughout this was beautiful.
I thought you meant with just the season,
huh?
or just for the episode, not the season.
Well, no, that's what I mean. But I'm saying his. When I say his arc, I'm saying like his arc through this episode where he beat Upper 5, he's out, but he's like, I need to help somehow. And you just see him throw that sword to Tanjiro, and that kicks off all this stuff. Like, I think that's one of the most powerful things ever because he wanted to help Tanjiro now. He felt like he had to. So I love that. The Muzan stuff's just insane because Muzan's like, I killed my doctor because I thought he was crazy. He didn't know what he was doing. Well, then I figure out he knew what he was doing, but I just did it. I killed him anyway. Then searched the world to try to find another doctor, which he couldn't. And then Nezuko's whole thing of like seeing the sun. Tanjiro sees the sun. Nezuko sees that Demon's Head's not dead. But she almost burns. And the music behind that and the pure like Tanjiro's like facials and what he's trying to do, he's hyperventilating the man is to figure out, do I save my sister or do I save the people? Beautiful. I implore you, and I think Chris will agree with what I'm about to say. If you have a TV or monitor that has really good color contrast, watch it on that. But also, if you have a TV or monitor that has really good speakers, watch it on that. Listen with the like really nice speakers because the sound direction of this is beautiful.
Man,
top notch.
If you happy with surround sound, please.
I can't say much else about this episode. This is one of the better episodes in this whole season. This episode is just colorful, sounds amazing, characters amazing. Some of the characters' emotions are told through facials and just visuals instead of dialogue, and that just makes it feel even more powerful. Before I ask for any other your rating for this episode, what's one thing you would tell somebody about this episode that you think you would tell somebody when they're watching it for the first time? Or they're watching.
This is one of those episodes that's going to get your heartstrings.
Yes. Yes, it'll pull out your
good way and a good.
Yeah, both ways. It'll pull out your heartstrings a lot. Like you said, you cried a tear. When I saw Nezuko for the first time burning, I was like, I want to just like shield her. My word, that was just amazing. So, I'm gonna ask this now.
She came back to life.
Yeah, she came back to life and just walking in the sun, like it.
Well, okay, I can't say she came back to life because she nearly died, but yeah.
I even love the fact they do the flashback scene, and they're like, "We're gonna show you all these clips, thinking she's dead." No, she's not dead. She's just partially burned. Info table, you've done it again, and you've done it better than Mugen Train.
Yes, you did.
All right. So, Chris, what is your rating for this episode?
This episode, for me, it gives a perfect 10. I'll give it to it. It was a perfect 10.
All right.
For all of those people who say this is a mid, well, remember they made it an anime for everybody to watch, for every age group. It's enough going on for people of any intelligence to realize what's going on. It doesn't take a brain scientist, but for those who think higher levels, we'll also see a lot of the other things that they put into the show. I'll give it a perfect 10.
Mm-hmm. I will say, if you think this anime is mid and you see this episode, you can't say that now. Yes, this show is simple. Yes, this show maybe has probably a simple plot. But like Chris said, when you think of the higher level plot they're trying to do here at points, it makes you think. And they do a very good job with making you think. And also, they do a very good job, even though the show looks beautiful, the show sounds amazing, the characters are great, the dialogue is amazing, but then they do some other small things where they do non-character voice acting for things, just emotion stuff. That stuff is more impactful than what they're saying sometimes. I have to agree. This episode's a 10 out of 10.
Woo-hoo.
So then I have 2 more questions. What would you give this season as a whole first?
$9.6.
Ooh. Explain.
I can't give it a perfect because the entirety of the show is not over. However,
Okay.
it kept me entertained throughout the entire show. You list me off on some really messed up cliffhangers, but bravo, they were all good.
Yes.
3, you gave us a lot of surprises. Like I think my favorite episode was when the upper 4 just casually walks into that room and he's sitting there with 2 hot.
That is funny, yeah.
Like, you got fear written on your tongue, but my brother, you walked into the wrong room and gave no.
Here's the thing. You say he has fear on his tongue. He literally crawled in that room trembling. And yet didn't give a care in the world because he was like, I need to find them. But then he walks in the wrong room when he sees 2 Hashira and a demon. That's kind of bad.
So the only reason it doesn't get those last 0.4 to me is the fact that I wish we could have seen a little bit more of the Love Hashira. She really only got one or 2 real episodes, while I feel like Mauricio kind of got more episodes.
Yeah, Mauricio has the deeper backstory. Like, he gets like almost 4 episodes full, plus the fights. Love Hashira only gets like 3, technically. Well, 2.5, 3. And I don't think I would have loved to see more of the fight from in this episode, but I know they explained that the real bodies with the Tanjiro, Genya, and Tanjiro, Genya, and Nezuko. So there's no point in showing that fight more. But you do see her say, "I was almost at my limit. I couldn't fight. Almost couldn't fight anymore." More. So it does show that she was so close to being done herself.
If they really wanted to make this a longer show, they could have. And
Oh,
if they had, I'm
absolutely.
sure if they had more money for a bigger budget, they probably would have added like a nice 5-10 minute fight scene with the Love Hashira.
Yes, they could have. So, the last question I have for you, and I actually before I do that, I must say I agree with you. 9.4 for the season kept me pretty entertained. Like I agree, Love Hostel should have some more stuff in the scenes. With the money they're spending, I think it would have been you could probably skim for like 5-6 minutes more of that fight. But overall, I can't really complain about things. Um, my last question before we end this podcast: how would you rank the seasons of Demon Slayer we've seen right now?
First season will be in second place.
Okay.
Mugen Train would be third place.
Okay.
So it's a tie between Entertainment District and Sword Art for first right now.
Oh wow. Okay. I will have to give you.
Because both seasons, absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah. I will agree with you. Season 1 is in second. I agree with you. Actually, I'll reverse that. I think Mugen Train is in second. I think season 1 is in third, and I do agree that I think it's a tie between Entertainment District and Swordsmith Village. But if you had to tell me that's a tie, it's like 1A, 1B. It's that close.
Man,
Because
I'm talking about an A versus one I, whichever.
yeah, it's just like it's literally that close because they're those Entertainment District and Swordsmith Village are the best episodes total. Best seasons total. By the way, we got the announcement of that we are getting the Hashira training arc adapted into the anime, which is going to be a shorter arc. It's only 2 chapters or 2 books in the manga, 15 and 16, which is about I think like I think like maybe 30 chapters or so. It's not a lot of chapters. That is coming pretty soon. There's not an announcement when that's happening. I will say this right now, me and Chris are going to be, when that came out, we are definitely going through that. You can bet on that. This gives me, I want to read more about the manga. I'm looking forward to reading more about the manga. The last thing I'll say, bring on the Hoshiri arc, bring on the Infinity Castle. I need more as fast as possible. I hate to say it. You left me wanting more, which that's a good thing for anime.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
So this is gonna be a little bit of a break for now for the anime podcast. We're gonna be watching when Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 comes out. We're gonna be watching that. We're also gonna do what's the anime called, Chris? I do apologize.
Yes, Display, Dead Mountain Display. There it is.
Dead Mountain Death Play. So we're gonna go through those 2 anime, one new, and then one from this season that right here that we didn't get to that we want to check out. So that's gonna be the thing going forward. If you have suggestions or anything you think of, I'm gonna say post them in the YouTube comments, post them on Twitter at BLMcClendon24. Anything you think about that you want us to check out anime wise as we're going through the next couple, the summer season, the winter season, the fall season, into next spring, please tell us because we'll check them out. We will review them. And ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 9 of the Anime Dojo. I do thank you for watching. I hope you did enjoy. I do thank for everybody who's been listening. Chris, thank you for joining me. Hope you had a good time.
It's been fun. Absolute fun.
We'll be back sometime in July for Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 and Death by Play as well. I hope to hear from next time. See ya.